Mr. Carney, there's a genocide happening in Palestine.
Thank you. Thank you, Diana. I'm aware, which is why we have an arms embargo.
1 hour later.
I didn't hear that. Actually, I didn't hear that word. Is that you were there? I guess. And yeah, so it's noisy. There's you get if you're up there, you hear snippets of what people say. And I heard Gaza and that, and my point was I'm aware of the situation in Gaza.
Welcome back to the show. Man, I have a great show for you today. Andrew Scheer just dropped the absolute best political ad I've ever seen. I think this is an instantaneous classic. I want to see a whole lot more of this because these type of videos go viral and it has a strong message that resonates with everyone. And since we're in a political campaign season, I can't do a video without Jagmeet Singh absolutely collapsing his NDP party all the way to the bottom of a cliff, day in and day out. And don't believe all the polls. There's a sleeping giant, and I'll tell you, it's something the pollsters are not looking at. And a little bit of Jordan Peterson and much, much more. Let's go. And the title of this ad is Don't Text Your Ex.
I'm so glad we locked Vladdy down. You guys aren't texting again, are you? I thought this was over, man. I mean, you said you were out. You were telling me how terrible the last 10 years were. As a friend, I barely even recognize you anymore. You lost your house. They drained your bank account. You maxed out 3 credit cards. You couldn't even afford groceries. And the drugs, man. And we're not talking about half a joint after the kids go to sleep to take the edge off the day. We're talking meth. I mean, that's not you. Oh, they've changed. Yeah, right. Of course they're going to say that. They're going to say anything they think you want to hear. And then guaranteed within a month, it's going to be right back to the same old stuff. And guaranteed they're going to be asking you for money again. What about all those foreign students living in the basement? And that weird arrangement with that guy from Burnaby for 2 years? What was that about? And if you think that this is going to be any different than the last 10 years, it's not. This is who they are. Don't be fooled. It's up to you, man. Offshore tax havens? Dude, Bermuda.
This ad was awesome because you know what? They hit it on the nail for sure. I mean, the 2-year relationship with that guy in Burnaby. Oh, and we're going to get into the guy from Burnaby. Oh, yeah, I can't wait. Who remembers Jagmeet Singh's Fighting for You ad campaign that he spent, and you won't even believe this. Look at Jagmeet Singh. He's fighting his hardest. And it's all for you. And this ad cost his party $500,000. You don't believe me? Oh, yeah. Here's the NDP website. And if you look at the bottom, it says this NDP spent $500,000 putting together Fighting for You scenes of him fighting in a boxing ring. Oh, yeah. And he's fighting so hard that he's literally losing his riding. Yeah. Jagmeet Singh is Burnaby Central. And you know what's hilarious is I live in Burnaby Central. That means I'm going to be fighting for him to get out of office. Take a look. Jagmeet Singh is literally in 3rd place and he has a 7% chance at winning his own riding. That means he's going to be fighting to get your order at Taco Bell or fighting to make you a pizza or deliver your Uber Eats. Or heck, maybe he's going to be joining Jenny Craig and training you with his Fighting for You videos. He won't be in politics anymore, and thank the guy upstairs. We can't take one more day of Jagmeet Singh. I went and I drove around my neighborhood in Burnaby for 45 minutes to see how many different signs there were on people's lawns. I counted, get this, I counted 0, and I mean absolutely 0 signs for Jagmeet Singh. Then I saw 1 Liberal sign. That's it. There's no Liberal sign. And I counted hundreds of Conservative signs across central Burnaby. Yeah, that's right. And get this, it gets better. I was driving home and I did see 1 Jagmeet Singh sign, but it was off to the side behind a tree. I don't think anyone's going to be able to see that sign. I almost missed it. And then get this, I got home, and within 5 minutes of getting home, guess who knocked on my door? You're not going to believe this. The Conservative candidate, James Yan, knocked on my door and said, "Hey, I'd like to say hi, and are you voting Conservative?" You can't make this stuff up. James said he's literally going to knock on every single door in the Burnaby Central riding. He's not going to miss a house. And I believe him because this is the second time I've seen him knock on doors. The Liberals, the NDP in Burnaby Central, they're not knocking on nothing. There is no signs. There's no activity. Yeah, this James guy actually has a chance. Go ahead and follow him on his X account. Here's the photo of me and James in front of my house. Yeah, that's right. This is for real. I'm not making this stuff up. Let's see where Jagmeet Singh is. First of all, he kicked off his campaign at Metrotown, but it wasn't inside Metrotown. It wasn't inside a fancy hall or building. It was in an alley. Then he goes to Edmonton and he's in a basement. And now, today, he's in Saskatoon. Instead of knocking door to door in the riding, this is where he is. Do you see that? Did you see that? That scarf? Oh, boy. Oh my goodness. You got it. I have to rewind that. Did you see that? Where is it? What the? Do you not see that? Oh my goodness. Oh man, his campaign is so finished. I can't even say what the scarf is because I want my channel to stay online. But check out the scarf that's right in front of his face. Yeah, and he's dancing. Oh God. This guy's so finished. So I could think of a million reasons why I will never vote for Liberal. But you know what? This is probably one of the reasons that stands out the most. Who remembers this? And that's why we don't vote for Liberals, okay? Because they're absolutely insane.
News, kids. You can take a summer fun time vacation where you're locked in a car for 10 consecutive days, nonstop with no bathroom breaks, and the Conservatives have a plan for you to have that summertime fun. And the cost? Give up the future of the planet, right? Don't worry, kids, about climate change. Don't worry about taking action on the planet. Enjoy your 10 hours in the car and let the planet burn.
Think about this. Think about this. Every single day for 8 years, and then they kept on 6 straight years raising the carbon tax over and over and over again. And then it just raised the price of everything. Inflation exploded in Canada, and now 28 days before an election, they didn't even remove it. They just brought it down to 0 so that they could lower the price of gasoline, so that right after the election, they could crank it back up to the moon. Yeah, because that's what they're going to do. And there's another reason why we should probably question the polls. Look at Cult, and I love the name. Cult Montreal says the Liberals are projected to win a majority in Canada next federal election. The odds of the Liberal winning are now 99%. Okay. Yeah, you know what? It sounds like Cult Montreal visited Elizabeth May and hit up that booze section because that is just not happening. And check out this article that was published from CTV. The leadership debate have come to mean less and less. Are you joking me? This is probably the most important debate in Canadian history. And guess what? Elections could be won or lost in a debate. So this article, this is the type of thing that mainstream media is pumping out day in and day out. It's absolutely disgusting. And guess what? There's a reason I say don't believe all the polls. Reagan Wyatt on CTV says Poilievre is the only leader talking about veterans in this campaign. And that's right. I haven't seen the Liberals talk about veterans, not even once. And guess what? They actually removed the language in our national anthem. They don't give a damn about our veterans, and it's quite clear. That's why they've never mentioned it. It's only the Conservatives that are mentioning and fighting for our veterans. And then he talks about and argues about the debate, what I was just talking to you about. Let's take a look.
Poilievre says his party will make it easier for veterans to find jobs in the private sector and improve supports. And joining me now is Regan Watts, Conservative strategist. Regan, thank you very much for being here. Good to see you. Now, day 21 of campaigning. What is Poilievre's strategy campaigning in Carney's riding today?
Well, good to be with you, Renee. Mr. Poilievre's strategy, I think this whole campaign has been to speak to voters and the concerns that they have. That he happens to be in Nepean today, I think, is more of a function of the schedule of the campaign. The leaders' debates are taking place next week in Montreal, and so it would make a lot of sense for him to return to Ottawa en route to Montreal for debate prep. But what I think is important is that he was in Mr. Carney's riding talking about benefits for veterans and what a potential Conservative government would do to support veterans. Now, Mr. Poilievre is the only leader on this campaign so far who has said anything about veterans. You know, the Liberal Party changed the words in our national anthem. Many people will remember that. Whatever you think about the move to change the national anthem, I do find it a bit strange and even reprehensible that the Liberal Party of Canada has not taken any time in this campaign to talk about what they're going to do for those veterans who have defended our flag and defended our anthem. And so today is just another juxtaposition or contrast, I think, between the two major party leaders. And whether he was doing this in Nepean or somewhere else, I think Mr. Poilievre is campaigning on issues people care about.
Now, polling shows the Liberals have a 6-point lead over the Conservatives right now. What can we expect to see the focus to be ahead of next week's debates?
Well, I think Nick Nanos, Mr. Nanos, who is CTV's pollster, he's a highly credible pollster, and I think he does good work. He's been talking this week about how the race has narrowed and tightened, and I think that will continue. The debates make a campaign. We've had a number of debate moments over the years. 1984, of course, with Brian Mulroney and taking Mr. Turner to the woodshed, and Jack Layton in 2011 doing the same for Mike Ignatieff. In both of those cases, campaigns turned on those moments. We may have that moment in this upcoming debate. You know, Mr. Poilievre is viewed, and I think rightly so, as a skilled debater and a strong communicator. But let's not forget, Mr. Carney has been in the public eye for 20 plus years. He's a very well-read man. He has thought deeply about what he believes, and he's a very good debater. I've worked with Mr. Carney. I've seen him up close and personal when we worked together at the Department of Finance. He's a smart man, and I expect him to come prepared as any debater would. And I think Mr. Carney, the expectations for him should be very high because he has been in this type of game before. He hasn't debated on a national election stage, but sitting down with the world's financial press at international meetings, whether it's the IMF and World Bank or sitting down in New York or London with financial journalists, is just as heated and just as temperate as a debate in a political election campaign. And so I think it'll be a great battle. And if there's a moment that can turn the campaign one way or the other, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, one thing he's forgetting to mention is Mark Carney doesn't know how to speak fluent French, and it's going to be a disaster when it comes to his French unless CBC comes to the rescue and helps him out with his French. Because the last debate, if you don't recall, he was like, oh yeah, we love Hamas. And they're like, no Hamas, no Hamas. Yeah, it's going to be one hell of a debate, and I can't wait. I'm actually considering, I don't know yet, I might live stream it and I'm bilingual, so I'll do the French debate live stream. I could convert it to the English crowd, and I would love to dissect Mark Carney's French. Oh boy, it's going to be fireworks. I got a clip from Jordan Peterson's recently released YouTube video. If you have not seen it, it is at 500,000 views. It's worth your time. I took a little clip and it's like, what? And he says why Mark Carney parachuted in as prime minister. And it's because on an international reputation, his international reputation has collapsed and failed. So he comes into Canada with this stellar resume without anybody knowing who he is. Check it out.
A leadership role as the UN climate envoy, and it was true that he organized like 400 of the world's biggest financial institutions to pursue what's essentially a net zero agenda. And that happened, let's say, roughly 5 years ago. Okay, so let's ask ourselves, what's happened in the interim? And the answer is, despite his success in doing so, all the big players have bailed out. BlackRock, Vanguard, all of these big players have decided that pursuing the net zero agenda, DEI and ESG, that's not going to fly. And so even if you believe that Carney had been properly successful in organizing these big financial institutions to hit the net zero targets, you're faced with the problem that they don't think so anymore and that whole coalition is falling apart. So my interpretation of part of the reason that Carney's motivated to become prime minister is because his international career has collapsed in failure. And so now where is he? Well, you might as well go to Canada. It's kind of a ratty little backwoods country anyways. And you don't really want to bother with niceties like actually having a seat and meeting Canadians and being elected. You can just hop in because you have this stellar resume and you're the Bank of England former governor, and you can tell people what's what. And you can tell Canadians that you're an outsider and that there's going to be some sort of economic revolution. And you can do that while lying about your actual goals, which are net zero, or failing to explain how you made such a cataclysmic mistake. And you're going to do that because you are a complete bloody failure on the international front, and that's embarrassing, and it's going to become stark bloody obvious in the next 5 years.
And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? That was only, I sped it up so that it was fast. That was only 1 minute and 25 seconds. Imagine watching an over an hour video of him bashing Mark Carney. I absolutely loved it. But I'll tell you right now, he came out with some very good information, because Jordan Peterson actually read the book Values and he dissected it with the lens as a psychologist. You're going to want to watch this podcast. It was well done. By the way, it's actually terrifying because if Mark Carney gets in and we goes for this net zero, it's going to finish Canada off. Now let's turn to Mark Carney. The entire campaign is a disaster. He has put the campaign on hold. Get this. This is unbelievable. Because he wants to deal with Donald Trump and his tariffs. The problem is his entire campaign is wrapped around Donald Trump. So he's not going to be dealing with anything. He actually delayed dealing with everything because it's helping his campaign. And guess what? This is the third time he's paused his campaign, and it's because things are absolutely falling apart. Watch this video.
Positive narratives about you. Why do you think that China, the PRC, seems to like you? Why are they praising you?
I have absolutely no idea, and I have absolutely no idea, and I think it. Well, I'll leave it at that.
Wow, look at his face. I have no idea. That's somebody that was surprised by the question and also has zero answer because it's true. That's right. And that's only one of the items that has surfaced in just a few days. Yeah, he needs a 3 or 4 day break. There's so many things happening. It's incredible. And I want to mention something before I show you this clip is that I actually searched on Mark Carney's X account and I put at the top, you can say search the account. I put China in the search bar and guess what came up? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. He has not mentioned China once in his entire time using X. No mention of China. To me, that is mind blasting.
All for now. Thank you.
So what we just witnessed is Mark Carney's not answering any questions.
Reporters trying to get more questions in and hoping answers will come, but very few did.
The Prime Minister didn't provide much of an update. Canada still faces U.S. tariffs on steel, aluminum, and autos, and is retaliating. Nothing changed for Canada when Donald Trump paused global reciprocal tariffs earlier this week.
Canada's tariff situation remained unchanged, and Prime Minister Carney had nothing to say about any changes to Canada's counter-tariff strategy.
We were hoping for so much more from Mark Carney, but remind us, what did we just hear?
I am struck by his not taking questions.
No questions were taken today. Now, Liberals will tell you that they like it when Carney gets to play the role of Prime Minister rather than campaigning leader. And
around the same time that Mark Carney left without taking questions, a GM plant in Ingersoll, Ontario was pausing production, citing slumping sales.
Unbelievable. Can you actually believe this? He's not, he rather act like Prime Minister, which he's doing nothing. So he's talking to Donald Trump and got nothing out of it. He wants Donald Trump to continue to impose the pressure so that he could win this election. Canada, wake the hell up. It's plain in sight what he's doing. He's damaging our country in order to get elected, to damage it even further. Hello? And check out this Toronto Sun article. Carney pauses Liberal campaign to avoid tough questions. And that is exactly what he's doing. Here's the Conservative event page. There's no rallies scheduled. And there's a reason why. Well, you know, I wanted to see at least one more rally. He's going to Montreal. Why doesn't he throw a rally in Montreal? He's there. Let's go. Let's do it. But they're trying to say that he needs to get ready for the debate. If he needs to get ready for this debate more than 1 or 2 days, he should be fired up. He should do a rally and then he should do the debate right after. That's just my opinion. Talking about the debates, the debate in French is this coming Wednesday, April 16th. And the next one is in English on Thursday, April 17th. I am thinking about doing a live feed. Let me know if that's something that you would watch. And if there's enough people, I might consider it. If not, I will be reporting on the debates. So I'm going to be doing clips and I'm going to be talking about it. So make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my videos. And that ends today's video. I hope you liked it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like, share, comment, and it helps the algorithm. Let's help my page grow. I'm nearly at 10,000 followers in a short amount of time. Let's grow this thing to the moon. I'll see you on the next episode.